Okay, I'm going to tell you a trick for evaluating type 2 double integrals. Type 2 is the bad one, right? It's the one where your region has x's as the graphs. It's harder to visualize. Right? Because we're always used to y being the vertical variable, but we're not as used to x being a function of the vertical variable. So there's one way to get around this. I mean, you could just do practice. You could just practice, and you'll eventually just get the hang of it. But if you really object to type 2 integrals, what you could do is just change your type 2 into a type 1. And type 1 is nice. So visually, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flip it, reflect around the x equals y line. So I'm essentially going to change x into y wherever it appears. So replace all x's with y's and replace all y's with x's. So if you do that, you just redraw the graph flipped. And instead of g2 being a function of y, now we have g2 being a function of x. And same with g1. X is down here, and y will be up here. I'm not reflecting the axes, I'm reflecting the graph. So our original region R, we can call it, say, R bar, whatever. And the key thing is this is now a type 1 region. Whereas this thing here was a 2 region, we did not like 2s, we like 1s. And what you do now with the region, well, we did this with the region, but we also need to do this thing with the integral. So if our double integral looks like f of x, y, dA, what you can do is simply do this transformation where we just replace x's with y's. And so then what we get is another double integral, this time over our better region, R bar, and we still have f, we still have dA, but now we use our replacement, and now we get a y here and an x here. Okay, so this is now a type 1 integral. And if we write it as an iterative form, it's just the usual x integral and y integral, f of yx, and remember, you draw towards the graphs, so we're evaluating dy first, and we're evaluating dx on the outside. So x is the outside integral, so this is x min, x max, and we can call this thing g1 of x and then just g2 of x. And here's our, remember, dy is on the inside of the graph, so it's on the inside of the integral, and we can put dx on the outside, just like it's on the outside of R. Okay, so now then it's just our usual type 1 intuition. And so if you know how to set up type 1, so if you can do a type 1, that you can do a type 2. There's no reason to be scared of a type 2 because you can just flip it. Okay, that's all for this video.